Hey guys, tonight we begin with something softer still. A journey not to the age of ice, but to the time just after. When the world was warming, when humans were learning to stay. When the first seeds were planted, the first walls built, the first metal shaped by fire. We're stepping into a world between worlds, after the wandering, before the empires. A world of small villages, open sky, and the slow turning of seasons. Tonight, we're inviting you to rest in that quieter time, to breathe with it, to let it hold you. So before you settle in, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're not waking to cold this time. You're waking to stillness, to the cool, gentle air of early morning in a world that's learning to be soft. The earth beneath you is familiar. The roof above you is woven, thatched, solid. And outside, the sky is just beginning to pale. The day hasn't started yet, but it will, slowly, gently, and you'll be there to meet it. The darkness is thinning, not quickly, not with any urgency, just thinning, the way night always gives way to day when the world is patient. You're lying on your side, curled slightly, a woven blanket pulled over your shoulder. Beneath you, dried grasses and woven reeds form a mat, soft enough to ease the hardness of the packed earth floor. It's not uncomfortable, not anymore. You've slept here for so many nights that your body knows the shape of it, has settled into its contours. The air is cool, not cold, cool. There's a difference. This coolness is soft, almost gentle, like the world is breathing lightly around you. It touches your face, your exposed arm, but it doesn't bite. It doesn't demand anything. It just is. You don't open your eyes yet. Not because you're still asleep. You're not. You're awake, or mostly awake, in that space between sleep and waking where the body has returned, but the mind hasn't quite caught up. You lie there, breathing slowly, listening. The shelter is quiet. Around you, others are still sleeping. You can hear them. The soft rhythm of their breathing, the occasional rustle of movement, a child's small sigh, an elder's deeper, slower breath. These sounds are familiar, comforting. They tell you that you're not alone, that your people are here, close, safe. Outside, the world is also quiet, but it's a different kind of quiet. Not the silence of sleep, but the silence of waiting. The silence of the earth holding its breath before the day begins. You can hear the wind very faintly. It moves through the grasses that grow beyond the village, a soft, continuous whisper. You can hear the distant rustle of leaves in the trees that line the stream. And beneath it all, deeper, quieter, the sound of the earth itself. Not a sound you hear with your ears, but one you feel, a presence, a weight, a knowing. You breathe in slowly through your nose. The air smells of smoke, faint and old from last night's fire. It smells of earth and grass and the woven reeds of the walls. It's the smell of home. You open your eyes. The shelter is dim, not dark, but dim. Light is beginning to seep in through the small gaps in the walls, through the opening at the top where smoke escapes, through the low doorway covered with a hanging hide. It's not much light, just enough to see shapes, shadows, the outline of the person sleeping near you, the curve of the walls, the faint glow of the fire pit. The fire pit. You turn your head slightly, looking toward the center of the shelter. The fire burned through the night, tended by those whose turn it was to watch, but now it's low, very low, just a few embers glowing faintly in the ash, like small red eyes watching the room. Someone will need to tend it soon, to add wood, to breathe life back into it before the embers die completely. That someone might be you, but not yet, not quite yet.
You lie still for a moment longer, just breathing, just being. The transition from sleep to waking doesn't need to be rushed. There's no urgency here, no alarm, no schedule, just the slow, natural rhythm of a body waking when it's ready. You stretch, slowly, carefully, not wanting to disturb those still sleeping. Your muscles are stiff, but not painfully so, just stiff in the way bodies are after a night of stillness. You flex your fingers, your toes, feeling them respond. You roll your shoulders, feeling the joints move, the blood begin to flow more freely. You're awake now, fully. The day is beginning. Around you, others are beginning to stir. Not everyone, not all at once, but here and there, movement, a shift, a sigh, the rustle of a blanket being pushed aside, the soft pad of feet on the earthen floor.
The day is coming, and with it the familiar rhythm of work and rest, of tasks and rituals, of the slow, steady turning of life in this small village, in this time before empires, when the world was still soft and the days moved like water. You sit up slowly, pushing the blanket aside. The cool air touches your skin more fully now, and you feel the goosebumps rise on your arms. You're wearing a simple tunic woven from plant fibers, rough but functional. It's been worn many times, washed in the stream, dried in the sun, and worn again. It smells like you, like smoke, like earth. You stand, moving carefully in the dim light, stepping over sleeping forms, making your way toward the fire pit. The embers are still there, still alive, just barely. You kneel beside the pit, feeling the faint warmth radiating from the stones that ring it. These stones have been heated and cooled thousands of times. They're smooth, blackened, warm to the touch even when the fire is low.
You reach for kindling, small twigs and dried grass stored nearby in a woven basket. You place them carefully on the embers, not smothering them, just close enough to catch. You lean down, close to the pit, and blow gently. The embers brighten. A faint glow spreads. The kindling begins to smoke, thin white tendrils rising. You blow again, steady, patient. A small flame flickers, catches, grows. You add more kindling, building it slowly, giving the fire what it needs. Not too much, not too fast, just enough. The flame grows stronger, spreading through the twigs, consuming them with quiet hunger. You add slightly larger pieces, small branches, feeding the fire, watching it come alive. Light fills the shelter, warm, flickering light that dances across the walls, across the faces of those still sleeping, across your own hands as you tend the flames.
The fire crackles softly, a comforting sound, a sound that says warmth, safety, continuity. The fire that burned yesterday still burns today. The fire that will burn tomorrow is being fed now. You sit back on your heels, watching the flames for a moment. There's something meditative about fire. The way it moves, the way it transforms wood into light and heat and ash. It's alive in its way, hungry, but controllable, useful. Fire is one of the oldest relationships humans have, older than tools, older than language, maybe. Fire and humans together, making the world softer. You add a few larger pieces of wood, logs that will burn longer, slower, providing steady heat as the day progresses and people begin to move about. Behind you, someone stirs, sits up. A woman, older, her hair gray and tied back. She nods at you, a small acknowledgement. "Good morning," the gesture says, though no words are spoken. You nod back.
She rises and moves toward the doorway, pushing aside the hide that covers it. Light spills in, brighter now, the pale blue-gray light of early dawn. She steps outside, and the hide falls back into place, muffling the light again. Others are waking now. A child whimpers softly, then quiets as a parent murmurs something soothing. An elder coughs, clears his throat, sits up slowly, his joints creaking audibly in the quiet. The village is waking, slowly, gently, the way it does every morning. You stand and move toward the doorway yourself. Time to see the day, time to step into it. You push the hide aside and step out into the morning. The world is soft. That's the first thing you notice. Not the light, though that's there. Not the coolness, though you feel that too. But the softness, the way the air feels against your skin. The way the light seems diffused, gentle, not harsh. The way everything seems wrapped in a quiet, almost tender stillness.
The sky is pale, a gradient of colors. Deep blue at the top, fading to lighter blue. then to soft gray, then to a faint hint of gold at the horizon where the sun will soon rise. Stars are still visible in the deeper parts of the sky, faint now, fading, but still there, witnesses to the night that's ending. The land around you is open, rolling, not flat, but not mountainous. Gentle hills covered in grass, golden brown and swaying slightly in the breeze. Trees dot the landscape, clustered near the stream that runs through the valley, standing alone on hilltops, marking the edges of the world you know. The village is small, a collection of shelters, maybe 20, clustered together for safety, for warmth, for community. They're simple structures, round or oval, made from wooden frames covered with woven reeds, thatched grass and hides. Smoke rises from some of them, thin columns that drift upward and dissipate in the morning air. Between the shelters, the ground is packed earth, worn smooth by countless feet. Paths wind between the structures, leading to the stream, to the fields, to the places where people work and gather. There are a few people already outside. A man is tending to a small garden plot, pulling weeds, checking the young plants. A woman is walking toward the stream, carrying clay pots for water. 2 children are chasing each other near the edge of the village, their laughter soft and intermittent. Everyone moves slowly. There's no rush, no urgency, just the steady, practiced movements of people who know their tasks, who've done them 1,000 times before. You stand for a moment, just breathing. The air is cool on your skin, but not unpleasantly so. You can smell the earth, the grass, the smoke from the fires. You can hear the wind, the distant murmur of the stream, the soft sounds of the village waking. This is your world, this small valley, these people, this rhythm of days. It's not much in the grand scheme of things. No cities, no monuments, no written records. Just life, lived simply, lived daily, lived in the soft space between the Ice Age and the empires to come. But it's enough. You take a breath and begin to move. There are things to do, not urgent things, not critical things. Just the daily things, the tasks that keep life moving forward, one day at a time. You walk toward the stream. The path is familiar. You've walked it every day for as long as you can remember. Your feet know the way, know where the ground is uneven, where the stones jut up, where the earth is soft after rain. The grass on either side of the path is wet with dew, not soaking, just damp, each blade holding tiny droplets that catch the light, turning the field into something shimmering, almost magical. You walk slowly, your feet making soft sounds on the packed earth. There's no reason to hurry. The stream isn't going anywhere.
The water will be there when you arrive. Other people are walking the same path, ahead of you, behind you, a quiet procession of villagers beginning their day. No one speaks much, a nod here, a gesture there. Words aren't always necessary. Presence is enough. The stream comes into view as you crest a small rise. It's not large, not a river, just a stream, maybe 10 paces across at its widest point, shallow enough to wade through in most places, deeper in the pools where the water has carved into the earth over time.
The water is clear. You can see the stones on the bottom, smooth and rounded by the constant flow. The water moves steadily, not rushing, just flowing the way water does when it knows where it's going. You approach the bank and kneel. The earth here is soft, muddy, marked by the knees and hands of countless people who've knelt in this same spot, day after day, season after season. You lean forward and cup your hands in the water. It's cold, not ice cold, but cool enough to wake you fully, to sharpen your senses. You bring the water to your face, splashing it on your skin, feeling the shock of coolness, feeling it drip down your chin, your neck. You drink, cupping your hands again, bringing the water to your lips, sipping carefully. The water is clean, fresh, tasting faintly of earth and stone. It's good water. The stream that feeds your village is reliable, a gift that's allowed people to settle here, to stay, to build shelters and plant crops. You splash your face again, washing away the last traces of sleep, the grit from your eyes, the stiffness from your skin. When you're done, you sit back on your heels and just look at the stream for a moment, watching the water flow, watching the light play on its surface, watching the small insects that skim across it, their legs creating tiny dimples that spread and fade. There's something peaceful about water, something constant. The stream has been here longer than you, longer than your parents, longer than their parents. It was here before the village, and it will be here after. It doesn't care about human concerns. It just flows. And in that flowing, there's a kind of comfort. You stand slowly, brushing the dirt from your knees. Others are kneeling nearby, washing, drinking, filling clay pots. The morning ritual is underway, quiet, practiced, familiar. You turn and begin walking back toward the village, your face still cool from the water, your body more awake now, ready for the day. As you walk, you notice the light changing. The sun is rising, though you can't see it yet, still hidden behind the hills to the east. But its light is spreading, turning the sky from gray to pale gold, casting long shadows across the land. The world is waking, fully now. Birds are beginning to sing, tentative at first, then more confident. A few of them swoop overhead, dark shapes against the pale sky. You can hear more sounds from the village now. Voices, tools being moved, the clatter of wood, the soft bleat of goats in a pen near the edge of the settlement. Life is stirring. The slow, gentle stirring of a community that's been here, in this place, for generations. People who've learned to live with the land, with the seasons, with each other. You return to your shelter and retrieve a small woven basket. There are things to gather, plants, roots, maybe some early berries if they're ripe. The land provides, if you know where to look and when to look for it. You sling the basket over your shoulder and head out again, this time away from the village, into the open land. The walk is easy. The ground is dry, the grass soft underfoot. You're not going far, just to a place you know, a place where certain plants grow, where the earth is rich and the sun reaches well. You walk through the grass, your hands brushing the tall stalks, feeling their texture, their slight roughness. The grass is golden now, turned by the late summer sun, but it's still alive, still resilient. The land here is open. You can see for great distances. Hills roll into the horizon, covered in grass and dotted with trees. The sky is vast, endless, stretching in all directions. There are no walls here, no boundaries except the natural ones, the stream, the hills, the forest. You know this land. You've walked it since you were a child. You know where the good plants grow, where the animals graze, where the ground is stable and where it's soft. This knowledge was passed to you as it was passed to your parents, and as you'll pass it to your children if you have them. It's not written down. It's not recorded. It's just known, held in the body, in the memory, in the careful attention paid to the world. You reach the place you were heading for, a gentle slope where the grass is shorter and certain herbs grow between the stones. You kneel and begin to look. Your eyes scan the ground, recognizing shapes, colors, patterns. There, a cluster of leaves, low to the ground, with a distinctive shape. You reach down and carefully pull, feeling the resistance, then the give as the root comes free from the earth. You shake off the dirt and place it in your basket. You move slowly, carefully, not taking too much from any one spot. The plants will grow back, but only if you leave some, only if you're careful. This is another kind of knowledge, passed down, how to take without taking too much, how to use the land without using it up. You gather a few more roots, a handful of leaves, some stems. Your basket is beginning to fill, not for food, not exactly, but with materials, things that can be prepared, dried, used for medicine, for flavor, for dye, for 100 small purposes. The sun is higher now. You can feel its warmth on your back. The coolness of the morning is fading, replaced by a gentle warmth that's pleasant, comfortable. You sit back on your heels, wiping your hands on the grass, looking out across the land. From here, you can see the village in the distance, small, almost insignificant against the vastness of the landscape. Smoke rises from the fires. Tiny figures move between the shelters. It's a small human mark on a large world, but it's your mark, your home. You stand, slinging the basket more securely over your shoulder, and begin the walk back. The return is slower than the journey out, not because you're tired, but because there's no reason to hurry. The sun is warm, the breeze is gentle, the world is peaceful. You take your time, pausing occasionally to look at something that catches your attention. A bird perched on a stone, a pattern in the grass where the wind has blown it flat, a cloud drifting slowly across the sky. These are small things, unimportant maybe in the grand scheme, but they're yours. They're part of your day, your experience, your life.
When you reach the village, the day is well underway. People are busy now, engaged in their tasks. Some are working in the small garden plots, tending to the crops that have been planted. Others are weaving, sitting in the shade with bundles of reeds or plant fibers, their hands moving in practiced rhythms. A few are working with wood, shaping tools, repairing shelters. Children run between the shelters, playing games whose rules you've forgotten, but that seem eternal, passed from one generation to the next without needing to be taught. You return to your shelter and set the basket down near the doorway. Inside, the fire is burning steadily, tended to by someone else while you were gone. The shelter is warmer now, the morning chill completely gone. You sit near the fire, pulling the basket toward you. Some of the plants need to be cleaned. Others need to be laid out to dry. You work slowly, methodically, your hands moving with the ease of long practice. This is your work, not dramatic, not heroic, just the quiet, steady work of survival, of making life a little bit easier, a little bit better, one small task at a time. The fire crackles softly beside you. Outside, the village hums with quiet activity, and you sit, working, present, alive, part of the slow turning of days in this time before empires, when the world was still learning what it meant to be settled, to be still, to be human in this new, softer way. The day continues, slowly, gently, and you continue with it. Time passes, though you don't measure it the way someone in a future age might. There are no clocks here, no bells marking hours. Time is measured by the sun, by the changing light, by the tasks that need doing. The sun climbs higher, reaching its peak. Midday, the warmest part of the day. You finish preparing the plants and set them aside to dry. Your stomach reminds you that you haven't eaten much since yesterday evening. It's time for a meal. Meals here are simple. There's no elaborate cooking, no recipes passed down and refined. Just food, prepared in the most basic ways, eaten when hunger calls. You move to the storage area of the shelter, a corner where clay pots and woven baskets hold the food that's been gathered, prepared, saved. You find a pot containing grain harvested from the small fields outside the village, ground into coarse flour. You take a handful of flour and mix it with water in a small clay bowl, working it with your fingers until it forms a thick paste. You shape it into a flat cake, not bothering to make it perfect, just functional. There's a flat stone near the fire, heated by the flames. You place the cake on it, watching it as it begins to cook, the surface turning from wet and pale to dry and slightly browned. While it cooks, you pull out a small piece of dried meat from another pot. It's tough, leathery, but it's protein, and it will fill you. You also find some dried berries, shriveled and dark, but still sweet. The bread cake finishes cooking. You pull it off the stone using a stick, setting it on a wooden plate. It's hot. You wait a moment before tearing off a piece, bringing it to your mouth. It's plain, no salt, no butter, no seasoning of any kind, just grain and water, cooked over fire. But it's filling, and after a morning of work, it tastes good enough. You chew slowly, taking your time, eating in silence. Others in the shelter are doing the same, sitting around the fire, eating their own simple meals, lost in their own thoughts. Eating together, but not necessarily talking, just being present, sharing space. When you're finished, you drink more water from a clay pot, wiping your mouth with the back of your hand. Your hunger is satisfied, not extravagantly, not luxuriously, just satisfied. You step outside again. The sun is bright now, almost directly overhead. The village is quieter than it was in the morning. The heat of midday has slowed the pace of work. People are resting, seeking shade, conserving energy. This is the rhythm of the day. Work in the morning when it's cool, rest in the middle of the day when it's hot, work again in the afternoon when the heat has passed, rest again in the evening when the light fades. You find a spot in the shade of one of the shelters, sitting with your back against the woven wall. The ground is cool here, protected from the direct sun. You stretch your legs out, feeling the relief in your muscles. You're not alone. Others are resting nearby. An elder is sitting with his eyes closed, possibly asleep, possibly just resting. A mother is nursing a baby, the child suckling quietly. Two young men are sitting together, talking in low voices, their conversation too quiet to make out. Everyone is still, quiet. The village has entered a kind of pause, a held breath in the middle of the day. You close your eyes, not just to sleep, just to rest, to let your body relax, to let your mind drift. The breeze is gentle, moving through the village, rustling the grass, stirring the smoke from the fires. You can feel it on your skin, cooling, pleasant. You can hear the sounds of the village, even in its stillness, the crackle of fires, the distant bleat of a goat, a laugh of a child quickly hushed, the murmur of conversation. These are the sounds of home, of community, of people living together in this time, in this place, making life possible through cooperation, through shared knowledge, through the simple act of being together. You sit for a long time, eyes closed, just breathing, just being. There's something peaceful about this, about not having to do anything, about not having anywhere to be, about just existing in this moment, in this place, without pressure, without urgency. This is a kind of wealth, though you wouldn't think of it that way. The wealth of time, the wealth of stillness, the wealth of a community that allows you to rest, knowing that others are watching, that the village is safe, that life will continue even if you do nothing for a while. Eventually, you open your eyes. The sun has moved, no longer directly overhead, beginning its slow descent toward the western hills. The heat is already beginning to fade, just slightly, the first hint of the coolness that will come with evening. The village is stirring again. People are emerging from their rest, returning to their tasks. The pause is ending. The day is moving forward. You stand, stretching, feeling your body wake up from its rest. There are things to do, always things to do. You decide to walk to the fields. There are crops growing there, planted in the spring, tended through the summer, now beginning to ripen. Someone needs to check them, to watch for pests, to pull weeds, to assess whether harvest time is approaching.
The fields are just outside the village, on a gentle slope where the soil is rich and the sun reaches well. They're not large, maybe a dozen small plots, each one tended by a family or a group, growing grains, beans, squash, the plants that supplement what's gathered from the wild. You walk between the rows, looking at the plants. They're doing well. The grain is tall, the heads heavy with seeds. The beans are climbing their supports, the leaves green and healthy. The squash vines are spreading across the ground, their large fruits visible beneath the leaves. This is one of the newer skills: planting, tending, harvesting. Your grandparents' grandparents didn't do this. They moved with the seasons, following the animals, gathering what they found. But something changed. Someone noticed that plants grew where seeds fell. Someone thought to plant seeds intentionally, to stay in one place and tend them, to wait. And it worked. Not perfectly, not reliably at first, but over time, with attention and care, it's become possible to grow food, to stay, to build shelters that last, to become settled. This is the world between the old ways of moving and the new ways of staying, between the wild and the tamed, between the time before and the time that's coming. You kneel beside one of the plants, examining it closely. The leaves are healthy, no signs of disease or pest damage. You pull a few weeds that are beginning to compete for space, tossing them aside. The work is simple, repetitive, but there's a satisfaction in it, in tending, in nurturing, in watching something grow because of your care. You move through the field slowly, checking each row, each plant, taking your time. The sun is warm on your back. The breeze moves through the grain, making it sway, creating a soft rustling sound. When you're done, you stand at the edge of the field, looking out over it. It's not much, not compared to what will come in future ages, when fields will stretch for miles, when agriculture will feed millions. But it's something. It's a beginning. You turn and walk back toward the village, your hands stained green from the plants, your body warm from the sun.
The day is moving toward evening now. The light is changing, becoming softer, more golden. Shadows are lengthening. The heat is fading. The village is active again, people making the most of the remaining light. There's food to prepare, tools to finish, tasks to complete before darkness falls. You return to your shelter. Inside, the fire has been built up again, flames dancing, casting light. Someone has placed a large clay pot near the fire, water heating for the evening meal. You settle near the fire, picking up a piece of work you started earlier, a basket you're weaving from dried reeds. Your hands move almost automatically, threading the reeds, pulling them tight, building the structure one row at a time.
This is how evenings often go. Quiet work, preparation for tomorrow, small tasks done by firelight while the day fades outside. Others are doing the same. An elder is sharpening a stone tool, scraping it carefully against another stone, creating a fine edge. A woman is grinding grain, crushing it between two stones with a rhythmic, repetitive motion. A child is playing near the fire, arranging small stones in patterns only they understand. No one speaks much. There's no need. The work is familiar. The presence of others is enough. The light outside fades to deep blue, then to purple, then to darkness. The stars begin to appear, one by one, filling the sky with their distant light. The fire is the center now, the source of light and warmth. People gather closer to it, drawn by its comfort, by the ancient human need to be near flame when darkness falls. Someone adds more wood. The fire flares, crackles, sends sparks drifting upward toward the smoke hole.
A pot is brought to the fire. The evening meal. Grains cooked with water until they're soft, mixed with whatever vegetables or meat are available. It's poured into wooden bowls, passed around. Everyone eats, sitting in a circle, the fire between them. You eat slowly, feeling the warmth of the food, tasting the simple flavors. It's not fancy, it's not elaborate, but after a day of work, it's satisfying. When the meal is done, the bowls are set aside. The fire burns lower. People begin to settle, preparing for sleep. Some spread out their sleeping mats near the fire. Others move to the edges of the shelter. Children are tucked in by parents, their eyes already heavy, their bodies exhausted from a day of play and exploration. You spread your own mat, the woven reeds soft beneath you. You lie down, pulling the woven blanket over yourself. The fire is still burning, but low now, just enough to last through the night, just enough to keep the shelter warm. Outside, the world is dark, very quiet. The stars are bright. They shine through the smoke hole, small points of light in the wide night. Inside, people sleep. Their breathing is slow, soft, steady. It is the only sound. You close your eyes. Your body feels tired, not heavy, not weak, just tired in a good way. a tiredness that comes from moving, from working, from a simple day. Your mind is calm, no worries, no thoughts, only quiet. You breathe in, you breathe out, slowly. The fire makes a soft sound, a gentle crackle. Someone moves in their sleep. Then stillness returns. The night rests over the village, dark, safe, unmoving. You drift, not fast, not suddenly, slowly, like water becoming still, into sleep, into rest, the deep, quiet rest of a body that lived this day fully, simply, completely. Another night begins. In this time before empires, in this world between wild land and settled life, in this small village, under these stars, you sleep, and the world continues, patient, silent, waiting for the next dawn.
The darkness is deep now, complete. Not the partial darkness of the shelter with its small amount of firelight, but the full darkness of the world outside, where the moon has not yet risen, and the stars, though bright, give only the faintest illumination. The village is silent. Everyone is asleep. The elders with their slow, steady breathing. The children curled into small shapes, dreaming whatever children dream. The adults, exhausted from the day's work, sunk deep into rest. Even the animals are quiet. The goats in their pen, the dogs that wander the village during the day, now curled near the fires for warmth. Everything is still. Inside the shelter, the fire has burned down to almost nothing, just a few glowing embers, barely visible in the darkness. They pulse faintly, like the slow heartbeat of some sleeping creature, keeping time with the breath of the sleepers around them.
You're asleep too, deeply. Your body has let go completely, surrendering to the rest it needs. Your breathing is slow, even, rhythmic. Your muscles are relaxed. Your mind has drifted away from the waking world into the strange, fluid space of dreams. The dreams are not clear, not narrative, just images, sensations, fragments. The feel of water on your hands, the sound of wind through grass, the warmth of the sun on your back. The dreams are made from the day you've just lived, your mind processing, sorting, storing. There are no nightmares here, no fears that jolt you awake, just the soft, gentle dreams of a life lived simply, lived close to the earth, lived without the complex anxieties of ages to come. Outside, the world is alive in its own way. Animals move through the darkness. A fox, perhaps, hunting in the fields, its eyes catching what little light there is. An owl in the trees, watching, waiting, silent. Small creatures in the grass, going about their nocturnal business, living their small, vital lives.
The stream continues, its sound a constant murmur, a background rhythm that never stops. The trees rustle occasionally in the breeze. The earth itself seems to breathe, expanding and contracting with the temperature, settling, resting. The stars wheel slowly overhead, marking the passage of time in their ancient, unchanging dance. Constellations that you don't have names for, that won't be named for generations, but that are still there, still beautiful, still watching. The night passes, slowly, patiently, without hurry. 1 hour, 2, 3. The fire in the shelter dies completely. The embers fade to black. The shelter is dark now, truly dark. The only light, the faint glow from other shelters where fires still burn, seeping through the small gaps in the walls. But even in darkness, the village is safe, protected. The shelters are solid. The community is together. There are no predators here that are brave enough to approach a human settlement. No dangers that require vigilance through the night. So everyone sleeps deeply, peacefully, and the night continues its slow march toward dawn. Eventually, the stars begin to fade. The darkness at the eastern horizon begins to lighten, just barely, from black to the faintest hint of gray. Dawn is coming, again, as it always does, as it always has. The world is preparing to wake. But not yet, not quite yet. For now, the darkness still holds, the sleep still deepens, the night still wraps the village in its quiet embrace. And in this darkness, in this stillness, there's a kind of peace that's hard to describe. A peace that comes from being so fully at rest that the boundary between the self and the world becomes thin, almost transparent. You are the darkness. You are the sleep. You are the slow breath of the earth. And in this moment, there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to fear, nothing to do. Just rest, just stillness, just the deep, quiet peace of a world that moves slowly, that allows rest, that honors the body's need for sleep as much as its need for food or water. The night holds you, and you are safe. Time moves forward, but you're not aware of it. Not in sleep. Time becomes something else, something fluid, something that stretches and compresses, that moves differently in the dreaming mind. You might sleep for hours, or it might feel like moments. In dreams, time doesn't matter.
What matters is the rest, the renewal, the body repairing itself, the mind sorting through the day's experiences, storing what's important, letting go of what's not. This is what sleep does. It heals, it restores, it prepares you for the next day, the next challenge, the small triumph of survival. And in this time, in this place, sleep is valued, not rushed, not interrupted by alarms or obligations, just allowed to take as long as it needs.
You sleep until your body decides it's done sleeping, until the light is strong enough to penetrate even closed eyelids, until the sounds of morning begin to filter in, until your mind surfaces naturally, gently, ready to meet another day. But that time hasn't come yet. So you sleep, and the village sleeps, and the world turns slowly in the darkness, patient as always, waiting for the sun. The first hint of dawn arrives not as light, but a sound, a bird, a single bird, somewhere in the trees near the stream. Its song is tentative at first, a few notes, testing, then more confident, a full song, declaring territory, calling for a mate, announcing that the night has passed and the day is coming. Other birds join in, one by one, a chorus building, not loud, not jarring, just the soft, natural sound of the world waking. Inside the shelter, the first person stirs, an elder perhaps, whose sleep is lighter, whose body wakes earlier. They sit up slowly, carefully, trying not to disturb the others. They move toward the fire pit, kneeling beside it, beginning the ritual of waking the fire, just as you did yesterday morning. And the world turns slowly in the darkness, patient as always, waiting for the sun. The first hint of dawn arrives not as light, but a sound, a bird, a single bird, somewhere in the trees near the stream. Its song is tentative at first, a few notes, testing, then more confident, a full song, declaring territory, calling for a mate, announcing that the night has passed and the day is coming. Other birds join in, one by one, a chorus building, not loud, not jarring, just the soft, natural sound of the world waking. Inside the shelter, the first person stirs, an elder perhaps, whose sleep is lighter, whose body wakes earlier. They sit up slowly, carefully, trying not to disturb the others. They move toward the fire pit, kneeling beside it, beginning the ritual of waking the fire, just as you did yesterday morning. The same as yesterday, the same as tomorrow, but also different, because each day is its own thing.
its own collection of moments, tasks, sensations. Each day is lived once, fully, and then it's gone, replaced by the next.
You sit up slowly. The blanket falls away. The cool morning air touches your skin. You stretch, feeling your body wake, feeling the stiffness ease. Around you, others are doing the same. The village is waking. The fire is being fed. People are moving toward the doorway, stepping out into the new day. You stand and join them. The world outside is familiar, the same world you've seen every morning, the same hills, the same stream, the same shelters, but the light is different. Always slightly different. The angle of the sun, the color of the sky, the way shadows fall. Each morning is subtly unique. The sky is clear, the air is cool but not cold. It will be a good day. Warm but not hot, dry, clear. You walk toward the stream again, joining the others in the morning ritual, washing, drinking, preparing for the day. The water is cold. It always is. It wakes you fully, sharpening your senses, clearing your mind. You drink deeply, feeling the coolness spread through your chest, your stomach. You splash your face, your arms, washing away the sleep. When you're done, you stand and look around. The sun is just appearing over the eastern hills now, its light spreading across the land, turning everything golden. It's beautiful, in a simple, understated way. Not dramatic, not breathtaking, just beautiful in the way that mornings are beautiful when you pay attention, when you pause, when you allow yourself to see. You take a breath. The air smells clean, fresh, full of possibility. Another day, another chance to live, to work, to rest, to be part of this small community, this small life, this small moment in the vast expanse of human history. You don't think of it in those terms, of course. You don't think about history or empires or the future. You just think about today, about the tasks ahead, about the simple, immediate reality of being alive. And that's enough, more than enough. You turn and walk back toward the village, ready to begin again. The day unfolds much like the previous one. There are tasks, always tasks, but they're not burdensome. They're just what needs doing. You spend the morning gathering again, this time walking further from the village to a place where certain nuts grow on low bushes. The nuts are ripe now, ready to harvest. You pick them carefully, filling your basket, taking only what's needed, leaving the rest for others, for animals, for next year's crop. The work is meditative. Your hands move steadily, picking, sorting, placing. Your mind is quiet, not empty, but quiet. Thoughts come and go, but they don't stick. They just pass through, like clouds moving across the sky.
The sun is warm on your back, the breeze is gentle, the sounds of birds and insects fill the air. Time passes, the basket fills. When it's full, you begin the walk back, taking your time, enjoying the movement, the feel of your body working, the rhythm of your steps. Back at the village, you spread the nuts out to dry in the sun. They'll need a few days before they can be stored, before they're ready to eat. But that's fine. There's no rush. Midday comes. The heat rises. You eat a simple meal, rest in the shade, let your body recover. In the afternoon, you join others in working on a communal project. A new shelter is being built for a young family, their first shelter, their first home. Everyone helps. That's how it works. You help build their home, and when you need help, they'll help build yours. The work is physical, cutting branches, weaving reeds, tying everything together with plant fibers. It's hard work, but it's shared work, and that makes it easier, lighter.
People talk as they work. Not constantly, but occasionally. Comments about the work, observations about the weather, a joke that makes someone laugh. The conversation is easy, natural, flowing and ebbing, like the work itself. You don't say much. You're not much of a talker, but you're there, present, working. And that's your contribution, your presence, your labor, your silent solidarity. The shelter takes shape slowly. By the end of the afternoon, the frame is up, the basic structure complete. The walls will come next, then the roof. It will take a few more days, maybe a week, but it will get done. It always does. As the sun begins to set, people start to drift away, returning to their own shelters, their own families, their own fires.
You do the same. Walking back, your body tired in that good way, your mind quiet, your spirit calm. Evening comes. The meal is prepared. The fire is tended. People gather, eat, rest. The light fades. The stars appear. The night returns. And once again, you find yourself lying on your mat, the blanket pulled over you, the fire burning low nearby. Another day is ending. Another night is beginning.
In this cycle, in this rhythm, there's a kind of perfection, not the perfection of something flawless, but the perfection of something complete, whole, sufficient. You close your eyes, your breathing slows, your body relaxes, and slowly, gently, you drift into sleep, into the deep, quiet stillness of another night in this small village, in this time before empires, when the world was still soft and days moved like water, slow and inevitable and good. The fire crackles. The village breathes. And you sleep. Deep, peaceful, safe, wrapped in the darkness, held by the earth, part of something larger than yourself, but also complete in yourself. A human, alive, resting, in this moment,
In this place, in this quiet day, before the empires.
Days pass. Not dramatically, not eventfully. Just pass. One into the next. Each one similar to the last, but each one its own. You wake, you work, you eat, you rest, you sleep. The tasks change slightly with the seasons, with the weather, with what's needed, but the rhythm remains the same. Steady, reliable, comforting in its predictability. The crops continue to grow. You check them regularly, tending, watching, waiting for the signs that harvest time is near.
The shelter for the young family is completed. A small celebration is held, nothing elaborate, just people gathering, sharing food, acknowledging the completion of something important. Children continue to play. Elders continue to sit in the sun, watching, remembering, sometimes sharing stories of times past, of their own youth, of the way things used to be. Life continues. Simple, uncomplicated, rooted in the present moment, in the immediate task, in the people right in front of you.
There is no grand narrative here, no epic struggles, no heroes or villains, just people, living day by day, doing what needs to be done, finding small joys in small moments. The warmth of the sun, the taste of ripe fruit, the sound of laughter, the comfort of the fire, the presence of others. These are the things that matter. Not money, not power, not status, just life. Simple, immediate, real.
And in this simplicity, there's a kind of richness that's hard to explain to someone who's never experienced it. A richness that comes not from having much, but from needing little. From being content with what is, rather than always reaching for what might be. You don't think about this consciously. You don't philosophize about it. You just live it. And in living it, you find a kind of peace. Not the peace of having no problems. There are always problems. Crops can fail. People can get sick. The weather can turn harsh.
The peace of knowing that whatever comes, you'll face it together, with your community, with your knowledge, with your resilience. The peace of knowing that you belong, that you have a place, that you matter, not because of what you achieve, but simply because you are. This is the gift of living in a time before empires, before hierarchies became rigid, before wealth became concentrated, before power became centralized. In this time, everyone matters, everyone contributes, everyone is seen.
Not perfectly, not ideally, but more than what will come in later ages, when cities grow large and people become anonymous, when systems become complex and individuals become lost in the machinery. Here, now, you are known. You are part of the fabric of the community. Your presence is felt. Your absence would be noticed. And in that knowing, in that being seen,
there's a fundamental human need being met, a need for belonging, for connection, for mattering. You don't name it, you don't analyze it, you just feel it.
As you sit by the fire at night, as you work alongside others during the day, as you share meals and stories and silence, you feel it. You belong. And that's enough. One morning, you wake to find the air has changed. It's cooler, noticeably cooler. The warmth of summer is fading, giving way to the crispness of autumn. You can smell it in the air, a different scent, the smell of leaves beginning to turn, of grass going to seed, of the earth preparing for the dormancy of winter. The crops in the fields are ready, fully ripe. It's time for the harvest.
This is one of the most important times of the year. The work of months culminates in these few days or weeks. The success of the harvest will determine how well the village eats through the winter, how comfortable or difficult the cold months will be. Everyone works, everyone helps, from the youngest children to the eldest elders. Everyone contributes in whatever way they can. You join the others in the fields, carrying tools, baskets, preparing to gather the grain that's been growing all summer. The work is hard, repetitive, bending, cutting, gathering, carrying, over and over. Your back aches, your hands are sore, but you continue. Because this is necessary. This is survival. This is what allows the village to continue, to endure, to make it through another winter. The sun is warm, even though the air is cool. You work through the morning, taking breaks to drink water, to rest briefly, then returning to the work. By midday, several rows have been harvested. The grain is piled in baskets, ready to be carried back to the village for processing. You help carry the baskets, the weight heavy on your shoulders, but manageable. The walk back to the village is slow, steady, purposeful. The grain is spread out to dry further in the sun. It will need to be threshed later, the edible seeds separated from the chaff. But for now, it's enough just to get it harvested, to bring it in before the weather changes, before rain might damage it. You return to the fields and continue, hour after hour. The rhythm of the work becomes almost meditative. Bend, cut, gather, stand, move to the next plant, repeat. Your mind drifts, thoughts come and go, memories, observations, plans, but nothing sticks. It's just a flow of consciousness moving through you as you move through the field. The sun begins its descent. The light changes from bright and harsh to soft and golden. The shadows lengthen. But the work continues. You want to finish this section before nightfall to make the most of the remaining light. Finally, as the sun touches the horizon, the last of the grain in this section is harvested. You stand, stretching, feeling every muscle protest,
feeling the exhaustion settling into your bones. But it's done. For today, at least, it's done. You walk back to the village with the others, all of you tired, all of you satisfied. The work was hard, but it was good work, important work. At the village, the fires are burning, food is being prepared. There's a sense of accomplishment, of community, of shared effort leading to shared success.
You eat well tonight, a larger meal than usual, a celebration of sorts. The grain hasn't been fully processed yet, but there's other food, vegetables from the gardens, some meat that was hunted recently, all shared among the community. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, feeling the warmth of the food, the satisfaction of hunger being met, the contentment that comes from a day of hard work completed. After the meal, people sit around the fires, talking more than usual, the energy of the day still present, still connecting everyone. Stories are told. Someone recounts a funny moment from the day's work. Another shares a memory from a previous harvest. An elder speaks of harvests from their youth, when things were different, when the village was smaller, when certain people who are now gone were still alive.
The stories are simple, not dramatic, not polished, just memories, shared, connecting past to present, connecting people to each other. You listen, mostly, contributing occasionally, but mostly just listening, being present, part of the circle. Eventually, the energy begins to fade. People start to drift toward their shelters. The fires are banked. The night settles in. You lie on your mat, your body exhausted, your muscles sore, but your spirit content. Today was a good day, a hard day, but a good day. Tomorrow will bring more of the same, more work, more harvest, more shared effort. But tonight you rest, deeply, gratefully.
And as you drift into sleep, you feel something close to joy. Not the explosive, ecstatic joy of some great triumph, but the quiet, steady joy of belonging, of contributing, of being part of something larger than yourself.
The joy of a life well lived, simply, honestly, fully. The fire burns low. The village sleeps.
The harvest continues in dreams, in the deep places of the mind, where memories are stored, where the body processes the day's work, where the soul finds rest. Another night, another day ending, another cycle completing, in this time before empires.
In this world that's still soft, still simple, still rooted in the earth and the seasons and the slow turning of days, you sleep, and the world holds you, patient, endless, good.
The harvest continues for days. Each morning you wake and return to the fields. Each day more grain is cut, gathered, carried back. Each evening you return exhausted, eat, rest, sleep. The work becomes a kind of meditation. The repetition
creates a rhythm that your body settles into, a rhythm that allows your mind to quiet, to simply be present with the task.
There's something satisfying about this kind of work. It's tangible. You can see the results. The fields that were full are now empty. The storage areas that were bare are now full. Progress is visible. Effort leads to outcome. There's a clarity to it that's deeply satisfying. And through it all, you're not alone. You're working alongside others, all of you moving together, helping each other, sharing the burden.
Sometimes someone starts singing, a work song, simple and rhythmic, that matches the movements of the task. Others join in, and for a while the field is filled with voices, all singing together, creating something beautiful out of the repetitive labor. The song doesn't have complex words, just sounds mostly, rhythms, melodies passed down through generations, changed slightly by each person who sings them, but still recognizable, still connecting past to present.
You sing along when you feel like it. Your voice blends with the others, becoming part of something larger. And for those moments, the work doesn't feel hard. It feels almost joyful. Eventually, the harvest is complete. The last field is cleared. The last basket is carried back. There's a collective sigh of relief. The work is done. The village has food for the winter. The crucial task has been accomplished.
That night, there's a true celebration. Not just a larger meal, but something more. Music, dancing, storytelling, a release of the tension that's been building through the days of hard work. A drum appears, made from a hollow log covered with stretched hide. Someone begins to beat it, a slow, steady rhythm that echoes through the village. Others join in, clapping, stamping their feet, adding their own rhythms to the beat. People begin to move, to dance, not in any formal way, just swaying, stepping, responding to the music with their bodies.
You watch for a while, then join in. Your body is tired, but the music is compelling, the rhythm infectious. You move, not gracefully, not skillfully, just honestly, letting your body respond to the sound. And for a while, all the tiredness falls away. You're just movement, just rhythm, just part of the collective energy of the village, celebrating, releasing, being together. Children run between the adults, laughing, their energy seemingly endless. Elders sit near the fires, clapping along, smiling, remembering their own youth, their own celebrations. The music continues. The dancing continues. Not for hours, people are too tired for that, but long enough. Long enough to mark the occasion. Long enough to honor the work that's been done. Long enough to feel the joy of survival, of success, of community. Eventually, the energy begins to wind down. The drum beats more slowly. The dancing becomes swaying. People begin to drift away, back to their shelters,
back to rest. You return to your shelter, your body pleasantly tired now, not just exhausted, but satisfied, worked, celebrated, complete.
You lie down, and sleep comes quickly, pulling you under almost immediately. And in your dreams, you're still moving, still dancing, still part of the rhythm that connects all things, that binds people together, that makes life not just endurable, but good. The drum beats softly in your dreams. The village breathes in its sleep. And the world turns, patient and good, toward whatever comes next.
Autumn deepens. The days grow shorter. The nights grow longer. The air becomes crisper, cooler, with a bite that hints at the winter to come.
The trees near the stream begin to change color, their leaves turning from green to gold to red, a final burst of beauty before the dormancy of winter. You spend time preparing for the cold months, repairing your shelter, making sure the walls are solid, the roof is tight, that cold air can't seep in through gaps. You gather extra firewood, stacking it near the shelter where it will stay dry.
The grain that was harvested is being processed, threshed, winnowed, ground into flour. Some is stored whole, kept in sealed clay pots to protect it from moisture and pests. The work is ongoing, a little each day, steady progress toward being ready for winter. Life slows slightly, not dramatically, but noticeably. There's less urgency now. The critical tasks are done. The harvest is in. The shelters are repaired. Now it's just a matter of maintaining, of staying warm, of passing the time until spring returns.
You spend more time sitting by the fire, more time in stillness, more time just being present, watching the flames, listening to the sounds of the village, feeling the slow turning of the season.
There's a beauty to this time, a softness. The world is quieting, preparing for its long sleep. And you're preparing with it, gathering inward, conserving energy, resting. One afternoon, you sit outside your shelter, wrapped in furs, watching the sky. Clouds are moving in from the west, thick and gray. The first storm of the season is coming.
You can feel it in the air, the pressure changing, the wind picking up, the birds flying lower, seeking shelter. By evening, the storm arrives. Rain at first, steady and cold. Then, as night falls, the rain turns to sleet, tiny ice pellets that tap against the walls of the shelter, like the fingers of some impatient spirit. You're inside, safe, warm by the fire. The storm rages outside, but you're protected. The shelter holds, the fire burns. You sit with the others, listening to the storm, feeling small and vulnerable, and yet also safe, held by the structure you've built, by the community you're part of, by the fire that's been kept alive for generations. The storm lasts through the night. By morning it has passed, leaving behind a world transformed. The rain has washed everything clean. The sleet has left a thin coating of ice on the grass, on the trees, making the world sparkle in the early light.
You step outside and pause, just looking. It's beautiful. Cold, yes, a reminder that winter is coming, but beautiful.
The air is crisp, so cold it hurts to breathe, but it's also clean, pure, refreshing in its sharpness. You take a deep breath, feeling it fill your lungs, feeling fully awake, fully present. Another day, another season, another turn of the wheel. Life continues, different now as it shifts toward winter, but continues nonetheless.
You gather wood for the fire, your breath visible in the cold air. You break the tin ice on the water pot and pour some into a bowl. You tend to the small tasks that make up the morning. And as you work, you feel it again, that sense of rightness, of being where you're supposed to be, of doing what you're supposed to do.
It's not a grand feeling, not dramatic, just a quiet sense of alignment, of fitting into the world, of being part of the slow, steady rhythm of life. You don't have words for it. You don't try to explain it. You just feel it. And it's enough. More than enough.
As the sun climbs higher, burning away the thin coating of ice, you continue with your day. Simple tasks, quiet moments, the ongoing work of survival that's also the ongoing work of living. And in this work, in this simplicity, there's a kind of perfection. Not the perfection of something flawless, but the perfection of something whole, complete in itself, needing nothing more, just this, just now. Just the quiet, steady rhythm of a life lived fully, simply, honestly. In this time before empires, in this world that's still soft, still close to the earth, still human in the most fundamental way, you live, you work, you rest, and the world continues, patient and endless, holding you in its gentle embrace. And in this holding, there is everything, the past and the future, both contained in this single moment, this single breath, this single life lived quietly, completely, fully, in a time when the world moved slowly, and days were measured not in hours, but in the turning of light, the changing of seasons, the steady rhythm of hearts beating
in time with the earth itself.